Welcome to the Justice League trading card game presented by Panini America. The Justice League trading card game uses the MetaX or MetaX game engine, which allows us to cross over not just the Justice League, but any other popular properties that we'd like to mix in the future. Today we're going to go over the basics on how to play, including the different card types and the turn sequence, and we'll also play through a couple of turns. The object of the Justice League trading card game is to collect 7 victory points. In order to do that, you would attack with your characters, and if I cannot block, then you would gain a victory point. The basics of the game are played with 3 different card types, first being characters, the second being battle cards, and the third being events. Characters are the most important cards in your deck. They have a couple of different things to note here. All characters have stats. They can have anywhere between 1 to 3 different stats. The stats are red for strength, blue for intelligence, and green for special. Stats range between 1 to 7, and the stats are important because they determine what cards a character can use to battle with. Characters also have effects. Depending on the type of icon, it will determine when you use that effect. There are 3 different types of effects. The triangle is a when played effect, the infinity symbol is a constant effect, and then the circle is a push effect, which means you'd have to turn your character in order to use the effect. The second card type is battle cards. Battle cards have corresponding stats. And these will match up with the characters that you have in play. So Superman can use strength battle cards between 1 and 7, intelligence battle cards between 1 and 3, and special battle cards between 1 and 5, which means he'll be able to use these 2, but he would not be able to use this one. They can get knocked out in one of 2 ways. The first way is an HP KO. Essentially, a character's health, or HP, is their highest stat. So for Batgirl, her highest stat is a 5. If she takes 5 damage or more in any combination of battle cards, then she would get knocked out. And the second way to knock out a character is to TKO them. Depending on the number of stats that they have, if you hit them with that many different types of battle cards, then you would knock them out. So Superman has 3 different stats. If you hit him with one of each of the different battle cards, then he would also get knocked out that way. It doesn't necessarily matter what the value of those battle cards are. They could all be 1s, but as long as there are 3 different ones, he would get knocked out. The last card type is events. They all have effects and they all have a meta point cost. Remember, whenever you play a card, you will either gain or lose meta points, depending on what it says. The only rules for events are that you have to play them during your planning step and before you attack. In the top right of all of these cards is a MP or meta point value. Some of these values are positive, which means you would gain meta points, and some of them are negative, which means you would have to pay meta points in order to play that card. Each turn is made up of 3 steps. The first step is the prep step, the second step is the planning step, and the third step is the battle step. Before we begin, at the start of the game, you're going to have your deck here. Both players are going to draw 5 cards. If for whatever reason you don't like your starting 5 cards, you can put them at the bottom of your deck and draw 5 new ones. The first step is the prep step, which means you would straighten any cards that you will have pushed during your turn. Since you don't have any characters out, you won't have to do that. During the planning step, you can play up to 1 character, and as you can see here, there's only 3 spots for characters, so you can only have 3 out in play at any given time. Also during that step, you could play any events, or you could use any push effects on characters that you already had in play. For your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to play Superman. He gives you 2 meta points when you play him, so you're going to move him up. And then he has a when entering play effect, which is to draw a card. Now, you could also play this event tier during this step if you would like. Do that by paying 2 meta points, play it to the discard pile, and just use the effect, search your deck for a battle card. Whenever you search your deck for a card, you have to shuffle it afterwards. So there you go. After you've played your character and used any events that you wanted to do during the planning step, you'd move to the battle step. During the battle step is when you would be able to push your characters to attack. Unfortunately, you can't attack with any characters that you have played that turn. That would essentially end your turn, and then it'll go to my turn. During my prep step, I would obviously prep any characters that I have. I don't have any, but I will draw a card since I'm not taking the very first turn of the game. I'll move to the planning step where I will play Batgirl, and I will gain 3 meta points for playing her. I have an event. Unfortunately, it costs 4 meta points, so I won't be able to play that this turn. I will move to the battle step. I can't attack with Batgirl, so then it'll go back to your turn. Going into your second turn, you'll start with the prep step. You would prep any characters you have. You don't have any, but you will draw a card. Now that you've drawn your card and finished the prep step, we'll move on to your planning step. You play your 1 character for the turn, green arrow. You're going to gain his 2 meta points. You unfortunately can't use his push effect. The turn comes into play, and you don't have any other events, so you'll go ahead and move into the battle step. Now that you've had Superman out, you can attack with him. In order to do that, you would move him into the battle zone, and you would push him, and then you would play a battle card that he can use. He uses 7 strength. You're going to pay the 1 meta point value to play it. Now that you're attacking me, I have the option to defend. My only character is Batgirl, and I'll play a battle card that she can use. Now that I've defended your attack, we'll exchange the battle cards as damage. Superman gets 1 strength, And Batgirl gets 7 strength, which, as you learned before, she gets HP KO'd because she only has 5 and she's taking a 7. That will end the battle step, and then it will move on to my turn. I will draw a card. Then I can play a character. I would gain 2 meta points for playing him. And then I could also pay 4 to play an event to draw 2 cards. I don't have any other effects that I can use, and I can't attack with him, so it will go into your turn. So during your prep step, you will prep Superman, and you will draw a card. So during your planning step, you could use Green Arrow's push effect, but we're actually going to save him, because during the battle step, you can attack with both of your characters. So for Superman, go ahead and move him up here, and we're gonna use Green Arrow up here. I'm gonna play this 1 special for Green Arrow, gaining 3. This 7 strength for Superman, which also costs 3. For me, I can defend with Green Arrow, since I have some battle cards that he can use. I'll go ahead and move him up here. Now I can choose which one of your attackers to block. So I'm gonna go ahead and block Superman with this particular one. So you're gonna take this, he'll have his 2nd different damage type. It takes 3 for him to be TKO'd, or I would have to do 5 more to HP KO him. Green Arrow's gonna take the 7, he can only take 5, so he's gonna get knocked out. And now, I'm not blocking Green Arrow's attack, so what that means is you're actually going to get a victory point. So you're going to discard that battle card, you're going to take the top card of my deck and put it into your victory point pile. Now that you've finished your attack, that will end your turn, and then we'll keep taking turns until one of us either has 7 victory points or somebody's deck runs out of cards. Those are the basics of the Justice League trading card game. It's available now at local hobby stores, and the Green Lantern expansion comes out at the beginning of December. If you have any questions or if you'd like any more information, please visit PaniniGames.com, and thanks for learning how to play.